Dancing cross-legged on the dressing room floor, hearing 50,000 fans screaming for more. Makeup artists applying the final velvet rouge. The anticipation building is incredibly huge. Tuning the nylon strings perfectly by ear, overcoming every last microscopic stage fear. Sequin wardrobe hanging on the metal rack, preparing for the massive spectacular attack.
Roadies pushing the heavy equipment crates, security holding back the fans at the gates. Testing the wireless monitors, checking the mic, making sure the audio levels perfectly strike. Plugging in the acoustic bass in the corridor, finding a quiet moment before we hit the floor. Away from the flashing cameras and the press, enjoying this unplugged musical finesse. The curtain is heavy, about to magically rise. Adrenaline pumping, visible inside our eyes. But right here in the shadows, hidden from view, we create a private melody exclusively for you. Welcome to the backstage, Jenny Jam. Before we activate the stadium hologram, just a wooden guitar and a raw, beautiful voice, making the nervous, anxious spirit rejoice. Jenny Jam, an intimate acoustic preparation before we broadcast to the entire global nation. Stage manager holding the glowing clipboard, signaling the start of the opening chord. But we linger for a second in the hallway, letting the spontaneous sweet rhythm play. Faders are pushed up on the master console, ready to unleash the fire deep in the soul. We harmonize softly, matching the pitch before they activate the main power switch.
Oh, warm-ups echoing down the concrete hall, ready to answer the spectacular blinding call. Trading the sneakers for the highest stiletto heel, focusing entirely on the way the lyrics feel. The entourage clapping on the offbeat timing, while the internal temperature keeps climbing. This private session is my ultimate sanctuary, before I become extraordinary and legendary. The curtain is heavy, about to magically rise. Adrenaline pumping, visible inside our eyes. But right here in the shadows, hidden from view, we create a private melody exclusively for you. Welcome to the backstage, Jenny Jam. Before we activate the stadium hologram, just a wooden guitar and a raw, beautiful voice, making the nervous, anxious spirit rejoice. Jenny Jam, an intimate acoustic preparation before we broadcast to the entire global nation.
5 minutes left on the digital countdown clock, ready to make the massive amphitheater rock. But hold this unplugged memory close to the chest, because the quietest moments are often the best.
Before we broadcast to the entire global nation.
Walking up,
Spotlight hits,
spotlight hits.
showtime.
Thank you.
Ooh, yeah. powerful wand, creating an unbreakable, magical, musical bond. I read the ancient grimoire of the beautiful sound, the heaviest alchemy that can possibly be found, transmuting the sorrow into absolute pure gold. A spectacular, mystical story that must be told, mixing the vocal potions inside the studio cauldron, protecting the innocent, completely vulnerable children.
Yeah, hey. The mixing console acts as the philosopher's stone, generating a completely unprecedented heavy tone, casting a rhythmic spell to heal the infected mind, leaving the bitterness and the jealousy far behind. My dreadlocks are antennas, capturing the cosmic energy, formulating the ultimate beautiful acoustic synergy. The equalizer is a tool for spiritual high elevation, sending a miraculous cure to the suffering nation. Brewing an elixir out of the melody and the bass, performing the incantations with a wonderful grace. The frequency acts as a highly effective, invisible charm, protecting the listeners from absolutely every harm. Experiencing the undeniable Marley magic, Erasing the circumstances that are deeply tragic.
an alchemical process, turning the heavy lead to light,
Illuminating the incredibly dark.
pessimistic night,
Marley magic,
a sorcery of the highest degree, setting the captive,
chain spirits completely free. Weaving the heavy bassline like a protective cloak, emerging victoriously from the thick, blinding smoke. The microphone captures the deeply prophetic word, the most miraculous poetry that you ever heard. I chant the sacred syllables to break the heavy curse, driving away the negative entities inside the universe. The tape machine captures the supernatural phenomenon, a beautiful legacy that will constantly carry on, sprinkling a vocal like fairy dust, rebuilding the foundation of the shattered trust. The rhythm section acts as a powerful healing potion, creating a magnificent, overwhelming, deep emotion. We are the wizards of the underground, of laboratory, writing a completely victorious, triumphant story. The levitation occurs when the heavy beat drops, a spectacular magic trick that never ever stops. Brewing an elixir out of the melody and the bass, performing the incantations with a wonderful grace. The frequency acts as a highly effective, invisible charm, protecting the listeners from absolutely every harm. Experiencing the undeniable Marley magic, Erasing the circumstances that are deeply tragic.
an alchemical process, turning the heavy lead to light,
Illuminating the incredibly dark.
pessimistic night,
Marley magic, a sorcery of the highest
degree. magnificent masquerade down the avenue, wearing a spectacular costume of sapphire blue. Gigantic feathered wings stretching brilliantly wide, bursting with an intoxicating, unapologetic pride. The matriarch of the archipelago shining in the sun, ensuring that the massive festival has officially begun. Sequins reflecting the incredibly bright tropical rays, dancing triumphantly through the observatory haze.
Following her magnificent flow down the parade route, blowing enthusiastically on the carved wooden flute. The diaspora unites in this spectacular, colorful swarm, sheltering beautifully inside the cultural warm storm. She commands the procession with the flick of her wrist, adding a joyful, undeniable, energetic twist. The calypso melodies blend with the heavy reggae drum erasing the memory of where the bitter tears came from.
The entire peninsula vibrates with the massive cheer, the most anticipated, beautiful holiday of the year. Swaying our hips to the infectious island groove, watching the spectacular, decorated chariots move. Make way for the spectacular, glowing island diva, curing the population of the highly contagious fever. The undisputed queen of the glorious grand carnival, hosting the ultimate, magnificent cultural festival. Island diva, wearing the extravagant plume crown, turning the sadness of the entire geography upside down.
Boy, tossing the colorful beats through the enthusiastic crowd, playing the percussion instruments exceptionally loud. Her energy is an entirely renewable, massive source, guiding the festivities on a joyous, spectacular course. We celebrate the heritage, we honor the deep roots, tasting the sweetness of the native tropical fruits. The stilt walkers tower high above the massive streets, synchronizing their steps to her undeniable beat.
My headdress is a towering architectural masterpiece, commanding that the suffering immediately finally sees. I am the visual representation of the island soul, making the fragmented, broken history entirely whole. Pouring the sweet nectar into the communal cup, lifting the spirits of the entire neighborhood up. The confetti rains down like a colorful paper shower, embracing the magnificent matriarchal total power. The entire peninsula vibrates with the massive cheer, the most anticipated, beautiful holiday of the year. Swaying our hips to the infectious island groove, watching the spectacular, decorated chariots move. Make way for the spectacular, glowing island diva, curing the population of the highly contagious fever. The undisputed queen of the glorious grand carnival, hosting the ultimate, magnificent cultural festival. Island diva, wearing the extravagant plume crown, turning the sadness of the entire geography upside down.
The sun is setting,
But the masquerade continues on
we will keep celebrating.
till the break of dawn.
The rhythm is a deeply embedded,
Cultural lifeline,
making the entire archipelago brilliantly shine.
jump up, wave your flag, queen of the band, carnival joy. Make way for the spectacular, glowing island diva, curing the population of the highly contagious fever. a slippery cliff above the raging foam, singing an intoxicating melody to guide the sailors home. My voice is a deceptive weapon wrapped in velvet lace, luring the massive galleons into this treacherous place. Silver scales shimmering underneath the cloudy moonlight, promising a beautiful, romantic, unforgettable night. The frequencies are designed to entirely paralyze, masking the deadly intentions hidden in my eyes.
Gripping the wooden helm tightly with my calloused hands, navigating blindly toward the undocumented lands. The compass needle spinning wildly, completely out of control. The mysterious chanting taking a heavy psychological toll. Fog descending quickly, blinding the frantic crew. We are helplessly drawn directly, magnetically to you. The radar is malfunctioning, the charts are entirely wrong, surrendering my vessel to the captivating mythical song.
The ocean tide pulls with an undeniable tragic force, deviating completely from the designated safe course. A terrifying beauty rising from the salty deep, putting the weary mariners into an eternal sleep. Hypnotized thoroughly by the dangerous siren scan, watching the majestic ship as it inevitably sank. A lethal combination of the melody and the reed, bringing an overwhelming, beautiful, aquatic breeze. Siren scan, echoing across the stormy, dark bay, stealing the brave navigators permanently away.
Warning flares shooting upward into the pitch black, but there is absolutely zero possibility of turning back. The wooden hull splintering against the hidden stone, leaving me entirely, desperately freezing and alone.
Water rushing rapidly into the lower flooding deck, standing at the epicenter of a catastrophic wreck. Yet I cannot stop listening to the mesmerizing tune, drowning in the acoustics beneath the pale moon. Collecting the sunken treasure scattered on the floor, adding another ruined captain to my massive score. My underwater kingdom thrives upon the human demise, a predatory predator wearing a spectacular disguise, breathing the liquid oxygen, swimming effortlessly free. I am the undisputed, gorgeous monarch of the sea. The dub siren wails again, signaling the next attack, waiting patiently for the next armada to unpack. The ocean tide pulls with an undeniable tragic force, deviating completely from the designated safe course. A terrifying beauty rising from the salty deep, putting the weary mariners into an eternal sleep. Hypnotized thoroughly by the dangerous siren scan, watching the majestic ship as it inevitably sank. A lethal combination of the melody and the reef, bringing an overwhelming, beautiful, aquatic breeze. Siren escape, echoing across the stormy, dark bay, stealing the brave navigators permanently away.
No lifeboat can rescue you from this auditory spell,
Descending rapidly into the watery, beautiful hell.
the melody is a beautiful, invisible titan loose.
There is entirely no possibility of calling a truce. Going under, hold your breath, the siren calls. Deep abyss, hypnotized thoroughly by the dangerous siren scan, watching the majestic ship as it inevitably sank. A lethal combination of the melody and the reef, bringing an overwhelming, beautiful, aquatic breeze. Siren suspended by a wire from the vaulted museum ceiling, controlling every single nervous emotion I am feeling, avoiding the invisible crisscrossing security lasers. A high-stakes operation executed for the appraisers.
The gemstone rests upon a pressure-sensitive scale. There is absolutely no acceptable margin to fail. Slipping the flawless jewel into my velvet pouch, landing entirely silently upon the leather couch. Waiting patiently inside the idling dark speedboat, wearing a black balaclava and a waterproof coat. The harbor water is perfectly still and pitch black, ready to execute the incredibly swift getaway track. Watching the second-hand sweep across my heavy watch, preparing to push the throttle up another notch. She signals from the balcony with a single flashlight. We are pulling off the greatest robbery of the night. The tension is thick enough to easily cut with a knife, risking our freedom, gambling with the dangerous life. But the prize is glittering, reflecting the moonbeam, executing the most lucrative underground scheme. Waiting for the incredibly heavy diamond drop, a massive vibration that they simply cannot stop. The frequency shatters the bulletproof display, stealing the priceless historical artifact away. Diamond drop, a flawless cut and a perfect crime, synchronized beautifully to the reggae time. Navigating the narrow canals, killing the engine hum, disappearing entirely before the police sirens come. Hiding the contraband underneath the wooden deck floor, we have successfully settled the ultimate final score. Babylon investigators searching the empty premises, failing to capture the smartest, stealthiest nemesis. The jewel is safe within the deep underground roots, counting the value of our spectacular stolen loot. Removing the tactical gear, slipping into an evening gown, the most mysterious, wealthy fugitive in the town. Holding the incredibly heavy stone up to my eye, admiring the facets that reflect the starry sky. We fence the treasure on the international black market, finding the perfect lucrative billionaire target. My heartbeat finally returns to a normal steady pace, leaving absolutely zero evidence inside the place. It's thick enough to easily cut with a knife, risking our freedom, gambling with the dangerous life. But the prize is glittering, reflecting the moonbeam, executing the most lucrative underground scheme. Waiting for the incredibly heavy diamond drop, a massive vibration that they simply cannot stop. The frequency shatters the bulletproof display, stealing the priceless historical artifact away. Diamond drop, a flawless cut in a perfect crime, synchronized beautifully to the reggae time. The clarity of the gem matches the purity of the bass, a flawless performance executed with ultimate grace. We are the invisible thieves of the auditory night, disappearing rapidly into the blinding bright lights. Cut the wire, grab the stone, get out. Flawless execution, waiting for the incredibly heavy diamond drop, a massive vibration that they simply cannot stop. The frequency shatters the bulletproof display, stealing the priceless historical artifact away. Diamond drop, a flawless cut and a perfect crime, synchronized beautifully to the reggae time. Clean getaway, no fingerprints. The drop is complete, rich forever.
tearing the blank pages from the unwritten diary. My psychological state is incredibly fiery, refusing to politely smile for the high society, embracing my wonderfully complex notoriety.
They tried to lock me inside a golden bird cage, but I easily escaped from the theatrical stage, running barefoot through the untamed wilderness, leaving behind the polite, expected tenderness. A lone wolf howling at the midnight lunar phase, rejecting the incredibly boring, predictable maze, trusting the internal compass, ignoring the map, dodging the clever, manipulative societal trap,
writing my own definitive, spectacular destiny, refusing to participate in the fake festivity, hunting for the absolute, terrifying truth, preserving the rebellious nature of my youth, swimming vigorously against the mainstream current, becoming a powerful, undeniable deterrent, unapologetic, fierce, and dangerously proud, standing out visibly from the brainwashed crowd, possessing a magnificent, untamed rebel heart, tearing the restrictive tradition and rules apart, a rogue spirit refusing to ever settle down, the most dangerous outcast in the entire town. Rebel heart pumping with fierce independence, fighting back against the authoritative sentence.
Crossing the strictly forbidden geographical borders, disobeying the hypocritical, ridiculous orders. My pulse is dictated by instinct, not by a clock, breaking the incredibly heavy psychological lock,
walking the completely complicated, risky path, enduring the jealous, unpredictable, bitter wrath. I am the captain of this incredibly fragile ship, refusing to ever lose my determined tight grip, throwing away the expected boring blueprint, leaving the totally unique, unforgettable fingerprint, painting entirely outside the designated lines, ignoring the confusing, contradictory signs. The armor I wear is forged from pure defiance, operating without any corporate fake alliance, finding immense joy inside the beautiful chaos, regardless of the potential temporary loss, swimming vigorously against the mainstream current, becoming a powerful, undeniable deterrent, unapologetic, fierce, and dangerously proud, standing out visibly from the brainwashed crowd, possessing a magnificent, untamed rebel heart, tearing the restrictive tradition, the rules apart, a rogue spirit refusing to ever settle down, the most dangerous outcast in the entire town. Rebel heart pumping with fierce independence, fighting back against the authoritative sentence.
Do not try to tame the wild, roaming beast. We are starving at the superficial, fake feast. Freedom is a highly expensive, necessary cost,
But those who wander are never truly lost. Untamed,
unchained,
no rules,
just instinct,
possessing a magnificent, untamed rebel heart, tearing the restrictive tradition, the rules apart, a rogue spirit refusing to ever settle down, the most dangerous outcast in the entire town. Rebel heart pumping with fierce independence, fighting back against the authoritative sentence. Each strong, never conform, stay wild, forever rogue. scarlet ruffled dress, demanding absolute attention, accepting nothing less. My heels are clicking rapidly against the polished wood, misbehaving exactly the way a passionate woman should.
The spotlight hits my silhouette,
Creating a sharp line. Tonight the championship trophy is guaranteed to be mine. Spinning like a tornado, leaving a trail of fire, elevating the competitive, fierce energy higher.
standing on the bandstand, blowing the golden horn,
Watching a spectacular musical phenomenon be born. The tempo is blistering, the rhythm is highly intense, jumping completely over the traditional musical fence. I signal the percussionist to double up the beat, providing the necessary combustible heavy heat. Watching her navigate the incredibly complex choreograph, tearing the entire established rulebook perfectly in half. The Caribbean islands colliding up on the floor, a spectacular fusion that you simply cannot ignore. Hips swaying wildly, feet moving in a blur, a magical interaction between him and her. Do the magnificent, fiery salsa stepper, adding a massive dash of the spiciest pepper. A reggae foundation meets the elegant Latin flair, throwing our inhibitions directly into the air. Salsa stepper, a passionately aggressive routine, the most incredible performance they have ever seen.
plucking the upright bass with an aggressive attack. There is absolutely no possibility of holding back. The trombone slides deeply into the lower register, acting as the perfect musical investigator. Sweat flying off the forehead of the timbale player, removing another restrictive traditional layer. We push the dancers to their absolute physical limit, squeezing every drop of energy out every minute.
My partner dips me low, inches from the hardwood floor. The audience is screaming, absolutely begging for more. Arching my back, snapping my neck to the sudden break, showing them exactly what it will permanently take. The brass section screams right into my waiting ear, eradicating any lingering competitive fear. I am the reigning queen of this spectacular fusion, providing a breathtaking, flawless, grand illusion. The Caribbean islands colliding up on the floor, a spectacular fusion that you simply cannot ignore. Hips swaying wildly, feet moving in a blur, a magical interaction between him and her. To the magnificent, fiery salsa stepper, adding a massive dash of the spiciest pepper. A reggae foundation meets the elegant Latin flair, throwing our inhibitions directly into the air. Salsa stepper, a passionately aggressive routine, the most incredible performance they have ever seen. Let the trumpets blaze, let the subwoofers roar. We are opening up an entirely new rhythmic door. Passion and pressure, elegance and the extreme dirt, executing the moves until the muscles actively hurt. Faster, step, step, spin, fuego, fuego. To the magnificent, fiery salsa stepper, adding a massive dash of the spiciest pepper. Reggae foundation meets the elegant Latin flair, throwing our inhibitions directly into the air. Salsa stepper, a passionately aggressive routine, the most incredible performance they have ever seen. Champion, take a bow, the floor is burning, bravo. the towering crane, washing away the societal heavy judgmental stain, painting our cheekbones with the fluorescent bright dye, claiming our territory right underneath the sky.
We are the outcasts, the rejects, the beautifully weird, exactly the people that the establishment has feared, forming a brand new clan above the noisy traffic, creating a lifestyle that is incredibly graphic,
Hoisting our handmade flag on the television antenna, establishing our own spectacular, exclusive arena.
The bloodline is irrelevant, the loyalty is what counts, weighing the dedication in heavy significant amounts. My brothers and sisters wear the leather and the denim, eradicating the societal highly toxic venom.
We speak a slang that only the members understand, building a fortress overlooking the concrete land.
A
Chosen family forged entirely in the urban fire, elevating the collective spectacular energy higher. No biological ties, just a deeply mutual respect, a magnificent community that we fiercely protect. We are the members of the fearless urban tribe, rejecting the incredibly boring, predictable vibe. A nomadic society roaming the high-rise peaks, where the marginalized individual finally speaks. Urban tribe, connected by the incredibly heavy bass, claiming our right for permanent elevated space.
tattoos act as the permanent identifying marks, navigating perfectly through the dangerous dark parts. We share the rations, splitting the loaf for bread, honoring the memories of the brave fallen dead. The council meets around the flaming metal barrel, dressed in a customized spectacular apparel, defending the perimeter from any unwanted intrusion, clearing away the massive metropolitan confusion.
Piercings gleaming underneath the helicopter light, we absolutely own the incredibly dangerous night. I am a fierce sister standing completely by your side, filled with an undeniable spectacular tribal pride. We bang the metal pipes against the brick chimney, creating an intimidating, highly aggressive symphony. The rules of the old world do not apply up here. We have completely eradicated the concept of fear. A chosen family forged entirely in the urban fire, elevating the collective spectacular energy higher. No biological ties, just a deeply mutual respect, a magnificent community that we fiercely protect. We are the members of the fearless urban tribe, rejecting the incredibly boring, predictable vibe. A nomadic society roaming the high-rise peaks, watching the chaotic busy afternoon gracefully die. Sitting peacefully upon the weathered wooden stoop, eating a warm bowl of my grandmother's hearty soup. The oppressive ultraviolet rays finally begin to fade, offering the neighborhood a much-needed cooling shade. Silhouettes elongating across the cracked pavement, enjoying this beautiful, tranquil urban arrangement.
Packing up the folding chairs from the front lawn, waiting for the spectacular twilight to be drawn. The work boots are removed, resting by the door. Nobody is demanding anything incredibly stressful anymore.
The breeze carries the scent of the blooming jasmine, washing away the exhaustion of where we have been. Neighbors waving politely from their open window frames, forgetting the competitive, exhausting daily games. Daytime surrenders beautifully to the incoming dusk, leaving behind the complicated, heavy daytime husk. The horizon swallows the massive glowing orange sphere, replacing the anxiety with a comfortable atmosphere. Relaxing quietly upon the peaceful sunset block, ignoring the aggressive ticking of the stressful clock. A magnificent transition from the light into the dark, finding a sanctuary right outside the local park. Sunset block, where the weary souls finally rest, feeling overwhelmingly, profoundly, safely blessed.
Fireflies beginning to blink in the overgrown grass, watching the occasional slow-moving vehicle pass. The tempo of the street drops to a comfortable crawl, answering the gentle, nocturnal melodic call. I strum the acoustic strings with a delicate touch, because right now we do not really need very much. The temperature drops, bringing a magnificent chill. Everything around me is exceptionally beautifully still.
Street lights bathing the avenue in an amber hue, a magical moment shared exclusively between us two. The stray cats curling up beside the grocery store. The chaotic city traffic is a distant muted roar. I rest my tired head against your comfortable shoulder, feeling completely secure as the evening gets colder. This specific hour is a magnificent visual poetry, a spectacular display of neighborhood symmetry. Daytime surrenders beautifully to the incoming dusk, leaving behind the complicated, heavy daytime husk. The horizon swallows the massive glowing orange sphere, replacing the anxiety with a comfortable atmosphere. Relaxing quietly upon the peaceful sunset block, ignoring the aggressive ticking of the stressful clock. A magnificent transition from the light into the dark, finding a sanctuary right outside the local park. Sunset block, where the weary souls finally rest, feeling overwhelmingly, profoundly, safely blessed.
Let the twilight wrap us in a comforting, soft blanket. We are incredibly grateful,
and we sincerely thank it.
the stars begin to poke through the indigo ceiling,
Amplifying this wonderful, affectionate feeling. Sun goes down, shadows stretch, quiet evening.
rest your eyes.
Rest your eyes. Relaxing quietly upon the peaceful sunset block, ignoring the aggressive ticking of the stressful clock. A magnificent transition from the light into the dark, finding a sanctuary right outside the local park. Sunset block, where the weary souls finally rest, feeling overwhelmingly, profoundly, safely blessed. The night avenue, sleep well, the stars are out, peaceful block. magnificent, cool in shade. Parrots flying overhead in a spectacular parade. Orchids blooming vividly upon the ancient vines, where the sparkling holy river beautifully intertwines.
Walking softly across the mossy emerald floor,
leaving the Babylon destruction outside the door. Inhaling the fragrance of the blooming hibiscus, forgiving the enemies who once deeply dismissed us.
Lion resting peacefully beside the gentle lamb, breaking the heavy chains of the deceptive wicked scam. Reading the ancient scriptures beneath the cedar tree, embracing the righteous truth that sets the spirit free.
Meditating deeply on the mountain elevation, receiving a profound, spectacular revelation. Planting the tiny seeds into the fertile home, finally returning to our designated spiritual home. Floating upward toward the magnificent pinnacle, ignoring completely the voices of the cynical. Releasing the toxic venom from the infected mind, leaving the sorrow and the bitter weeping behind. Flowing perfectly with the Zion groove, watching the majestic holy mountains move. A sanctuary filled with everlasting pure light, banishing forever the shadows of the night. Zion groove, a utopian, beautiful reality, achieving a state of total, absolute neutrality.
Harvesting the yams and the sweetest sugar cake, washing our faces in the purifying gentle rain. Drinking with pristine water from the natural spring, appreciating the nourishment that the seasons bring. Eradicating greed, abandoning the endless rush, finding total serenity within the jungle brush. The soil is rich, the atmosphere is perfectly clean, the most breathtaking paradise I have ever seen.
Braiding my long hair beside the rushing waterfall, answering the majestic, undeniable high call. Humming a melody inherited from the queen, painting a portrait entirely wonderfully serene. Tasting the golden honey from the buzzing bees, surrendering completely to the rustling breeze. Laying back upon the soft grassy terrain, removing entirely every single lingering pain. Floating upward toward the magnificent pinnacle, ignoring completely the voices of the cynical. Releasing the toxic venom from the infected mind, leaving the sorrow and the bitter weeping behind. Flowing perfectly with the Zion groove, watching the majestic holy mountains move. A sanctuary filled with everlasting pure light, banishing forever the shadows of the night. Zion groove, a utopian, beautiful reality, achieving a state of total, absolute neutrality.
The promised land is no longer
A distant illusion,
we have escaped the massive
worldly confusion.
stepping into the kingdom of eternal grace,
Occupying this exceptionally holy, sacred space. Pure peace, holy waters,
breathing.
Zion awaits. Flowing perfectly with the Zion groove, watching the majestic, holy mountains move. A sanctuary filled untamed tapestry, trading exotic papayas for a woven sturdy basket. If you need survival advice, you better simply ask it. Leopards prowling quietly beneath the fern leaves, spotting the dangerous predators right before they seize. My skin is painted with the mud from the riverbank, dancing naturally to the organic botanical scan.
Swinging the machete, carving a completely new trail, where the weak and the cowardly will constantly fail. Building a shelter out of the strong bamboo stalks, listening closely when the ancient wilderness talks. Tracking the footprints of the massive wild boar, understanding exactly what the Mother Earth has in store. Drinking the fresh rainwater trapped inside the leaf, finding a profound, fundamental spiritual relief. The law of the wilderness is brutal and extremely raw, respecting the power of the heavy razor sharp claw, adapting entirely to the biological wild zone, living independently, completely on our own, mastering the aggressive, dangerous jungle hustle, relying entirely upon our instinct and our muscle, thriving beautifully inside the dense tropical brush, ignoring entirely the modern metropolitan rush. Jungle hustle, where the fittest will always survive, keeping the ancient ancestral traditions alive. Avoiding the quicksand, hidden perfectly in the mud, recognizing the venomous spiders by the shining blood. We forage for the edible roots and the sweetest berries, riding across the rapids without the need for ferries. The anaconda slid the silently past the wooden camp, lighting the fire without a modern electrical lamp. We are part of the ecosystem, an essential vital gear, eradicating completely any trace of human fear.
Gathering the medicine, the herb to cure the sudden fever, working diligently like a busy, dedicated beaver. Monsoon rains arrive, washing the entire forest clean, the most spectacularly vivid shades of emerald green. I weave a hammock from the strong, flexible vines, reading the natural meteorological incoming signs. We barter and trade in the clearing by the waterfall, answering the deepest, most primal biological call. The law of the wilderness is brutal and extremely raw, respecting the power of the heavy razor sharp claw, adapting entirely to the biological wild zone, living independently, completely on our own, mastering the aggressive, dangerous jungle hustle, relying entirely upon our instinct and our muscle, thriving beautifully inside the dense tropical brush, ignoring entirely the modern metropolitan rush. Jungle hustle, where the fittest will always survive, keeping the ancient ancestral traditions alive. The canopy completely blocks out the aggressive sun, but our daily arduous labor is never actually done. We are the kings and queens of the uncharted green, the fiercest, wildest survivors they have ever seen. Chop the wood, hunt the prey, stay alert, wild and free, mastering the aggressive, dangerous jungle hustle, relying entirely upon our instinct and our muscle, driving beautifully inside the dense tropical brush, ignoring entirely the modern metropolitan rush. Jungle hustle, where the fittest will always survive, keeping the ancient ancestral traditions alive. The storm arrives, take shelter, jungle life, nature provides. Yeah. Oh. lacing up my combat boots, tying up my hair, sensing the electricity crackling in the air. We are not protesting with a picket or a sign. We are using choreography to cross the battle line. Step to the left, pivot sharply to the right, turning our frustration into a beacon of light. Every single motion is a calculated strike, moving all together down the middle of the turnpike.
Oppressors looking down from their ivory towers, underestimating the capacity of our powers. They try to legislate the way we naturally feel, but the rhythm of the people is made of forged steel.
Marching to the frequency of ultimate defiance, forming an unbreakable underground alliance. We do not need artillery to tear the system down. We just need the heaviest subwoofers in the town. The tempo is a weapon, the melody is a shield. We are taking over the entire battlefield. No surrender, no retreat. We hold the front line, following the guidance of a higher grand design. Get ready for the rebel dance, a physical revolt, hitting the establishment like a lightning bolt, shaking off the shackles with a synchronized sway, chasing all the dictators and hypocrites away. Rebel dance, the revolution is finally here, conquering the tyranny, eradicating fear.
Generals are panicking, checking on their screens, trying to decipher what this movement really means. Footstep vibrating like an earthquake on the fog, bringing their corrupt economy to a grinding halt. We are warriors of sound, soldiers of the groove, proving our intentions with every single move. Babylon is crumbling beneath our stomping feet. Victory is tasting incredibly sweet.
Spinning like a hurricane, twisting like a storm, breaking every boundary, rejecting every norm. Sweat is camouflage, painting my determined face, claiming ownership of this contested urban space. Shoulder to shoulder, we form a human barricade, showing off the courage that we have proudly made. No one can stop a tide that has already turned, watching all the wicked institutions get burned. The tempo is a weapon, the melody is a shield. We are taking over the entire battlefield. No surrender, no retreat. We hold the front line, following the guidance of a higher grand design. Get ready for the rebel dance, a physical revolt, hitting the establishment like a lightning bolt, shaking off the shackles with a synchronized sway, chasing all the dictators and hypocrites away. Rebel dance, the revolution is finally here, conquering the tyranny, Ultraviolet rays blasting directly from the tweeter, shattering the glass of the musical thermometer, sunbathing luxuriously inside the audio waves. This is the thermal energy that my body craves.
Sweating profusely inside the sonic, humid sauna,
Absorbing the frequencies like the tropical flora. My skin is radiating a dangerous spicy energy, igniting a magnificent acoustic emergency.
geothermal eruptions happening under the floor, volcanic magma flowing directly through the door, tectonic friction generating a massive warmth, creating a terrifyingly hot storm. Celsius is rising rapidly, Fahrenheit is peaking. The amplifier coils are literally loudly freaking. Coals burning brightly inside the speaker cabinet, the hottest climate on the entire audio planet.
Boiling the liquid instantly with a single note, melting the ice completely, watching the glaciers float. Thermodynamics taking over the entire room, incinerating the freezing winter, erasing the gloom. Experiencing the extreme scorching bass heat, burning the pavement underneath our dancing feet. A tropical temperature causing a massive sweat, the most explosive audio climate you ever met. Bass heat, radiating a dangerous infrared glow, melting the frost and evaporating the snow.
Yeah, fanning the heavy invisible musical flame,
Destroying the competitors in this silly game,
roasting the rhythm to absolute pure perfection, a blazing undeniable
fiery sound selection.
stepping carefully on the scorching red coals, injecting the fire directly into our deep souls. The radiator is broken, the thermostat is cracked, the winter atmosphere has been completely hacked.
Sunburn developing from the glowing synthesizer. The DJ acts as the ultimate thermal advisor, baking entirely underneath the heavy drum beat, unable to escape the incredibly intense heat. Lava dripping slowly from the heavy microphone, entering a totally blistering dangerous zone. My silhouette is shimmering in the heat mirage, surviving this magnificent scorching barrage. Boiling the liquid instantly with a single note, melting the ice completely, watching the glaciers float. Thermodynamics taking over the entire room, incinerating the freezing winter, erasing the gloom. Experiencing the extreme scorching bass heat, burning the pavement underneath our dancing feet. A tropical temperature causing a massive sweat, the most explosive audio climate you ever met. Bass heat, radiating a dangerous infrared glow, melting the frost and evaporating the snow.
Evaporate the negativity, burn away the stress.
In this auditory oven we find our success.
The subwoofers act like a gigantic
Solar flare,
singing all the oxygen directly out of the air.
too hot, melting down.
Feel the burn.
Fahrenheit peaking, experiencing the extreme scorching bass heat, burning the pavement underneath our dancing feet. A tropical temperature causing a massive sweat, the most explosive audio climate you ever met. Bass heat, radiating a dangerous infrared glow, melting the frost and evaporating the snow. Cooling down,
Ice melting,
thermal overload,
fire out.
fire out. at the checkerboard of earth from the sky. Heart is palpitating wildly inside my chest, putting my courage to the ultimate extreme test.
I take a deep breath and I step off the edge, honoring the crazy adrenaline-fueled pledge. Plummeting downward, cutting through the freezing clouds, screaming out my exhilaration absolutely loud. Terminal velocity ripping against my face, a magnificent, terrifying, spectacular race. No strings attached, leaving the heavy burdens behind. A total liberation of the body and the mind.
Spreading my arms wide, simulating a flying bird, the most peaceful silence that I have ever heard. Gravity is the teacher, I am the willing student, being reckless and entirely wonderfully imprudent. Aerodynamic diving, slicing the atmosphere, eradicating absolutely every single fear. The altimeter ticking, measuring the descent, a beautiful fraction of time, incredibly well spent. Experiencing the freedom drop, a vertical flight, a daytime phenomenon that feels exceptionally bright. Trusting the parachute, embracing the massive fall, entering the extreme, adventurous, daring call. Freedom drop, completely untethered and unchained, a miraculous memory that is permanently engraved.
Rolling over on my back, staring at the blue, seeing the entire hemisphere from a different view. The topography below looks like a painted map, escaping from the ordinary, predictable trap. I pull the ripcord firmly, feeling the sudden jerk, watching the nylon canopy perfectly do its work. Transitioning from a bullet to a floating leaf, experiencing a massive, overwhelming relief.
Gliding in spirals over the majestic terrain, washing away the stress, erasing the mental stain. The parachute catches the thermal updraft breeze, floating gracefully directly over the forest trees. Steering the toggles, navigating the open air, hanging suspended by a harness, completely aware. The landing zone approaches, getting rapidly close, taking in the maximum exhilarating dose. Aerodynamic diving, slicing the atmosphere, eradicating absolutely every single fear. The altimeter ticking, measuring the descent, a beautiful fraction of time, incredibly well spent. Experiencing the freedom drop, a vertical flight, a daytime phenomenon that feels exceptionally bright. Trusting the parachute, embracing the massive fall, entering the extreme, adventurous, daring call. Freedom drop, completely untethered and unchained, a miraculous memory that is permanently engraved.
Feet touching the grass, bending the shaky knees,
Surviving the ultimate jump with spectacular ease.
unbuckling the helmet,
Gathering the tangled cords, receiving the greatest of all invisible rewards. Floating down, so peaceful, like a feather touch the ground. Oh, experiencing the freedom drop, a vertical flight, a daytime phenomenon that feels exceptionally bright. Trusting the parachute, embracing the massive fall, answering the extreme, adventurous, daring call. Freedom drop, completely untethered and unchained, a miraculous memory that is permanently engraved. a silver metallic machine onto my shoulder, feeling significantly braver and incredibly bolder. The Duke of Sedek is an instrument of pure peace, demanding that the neighborhood violence instantly cease. I push the play button, engaging the magnetic head, resurrecting the spirits of the supposedly dead. The woofers are pumping out a visible sonic wave. This portable contraption is precisely what I crave.
Purchasing 8 massive batteries from the corner store to power this magnificent acoustic heavy roar, extending the shiny telescopic antenna to the sky, watching the incredible frequencies beautifully fly.
We do not need a cathedral with stained glass windows. We find our salvation wherever the street wind blows, carrying the sanctuary directly in my bare hands, broadcasting the message across the barren land.
The volume knob is twisted completely to the right, eradicating the darkness of the pessimistic night.
A portable revolution running on direct current, becoming an absolute, undeniable, massive deterrent. We carry the temple inside the boombox Zion, roaring loudly like a magnificent silver lion, transforming the gray sidewalk into a holy place, providing a spectacular mobile spiritual space. Boombox Zion, the heaviest device on the street, worshiping the power of the analog beat.
The handle is heavy, digging deeply into my palm, but the music provides an overwhelmingly sweet calm. Walking past the abandoned, dilapidated buildings, ignoring the fake, superficial corporate gildings.
The graphic equalizer bounces up and down in the red, injecting the philosophy directly into your head. This rectangular machine is a technological priest, calming the anger of the metropolitan beast. Cassette tape spinning slowly inside the plastic shell, rescuing the pedestrians from a psychological hell. The treble is sharp, the mid-range is incredibly clear, eradicating completely the surrounding atmosphere. I'm a mobile DJ, a prophet with the silver box, shattering the incredibly heavy invisible locks. People stop and nod their heads to the massive sound, the most beautiful congregation to ever be found. The volume knob is twisted completely to the right, eradicating the darkness of the pessimistic night. A portable revolution running on direct current, becoming an absolute, undeniable, massive deterrent. We carry the temple inside the boombox Zion, roaring loudly like a magnificent silver lion, transforming the gray sidewalk into a holy place, providing a spectacular mobile spiritual space. Boombox Zion, the heaviest device on the street, worshiping the power of the analog beat. Speakers are vibrating the entire neighborhood, doing exactly what the manufacturer understood. When the batteries die, we will simply buy some more, keeping the sanctuary open with an unlocked door. Rewind!
Press play, turn it up, maximum volume.
We carry the temple inside the boombox Zion, roaring loudly like a magnificent silver lion, transforming the gray sidewalk into a holy place, providing a spectacular mobile spiritual space. Boombox Zion, the heaviest device on the street, worshiping the power of the analog beat. Batteries low, tape slowing down, music fading, eject. lost in my headphones, singing into the condenser, finding the perfect tones. The engineer is separated by a pane of thick glass, waiting for the initial recording sequence to pass. I deliver the lyrics with the precise, sharp attack, and listen to my own voice beautifully bouncing back, multiplying syllables until they fill the room. A flower of audio that is beginning to bloom.
Sitting at the soundboard, twisting the plastic knobs, performing the most crucial of all the studio jobs.
Routing the cables through the complicated patch bay, manipulating time to create the perfect delay. The reel-to-reel is spinning, capturing the magic tape, giving the invisible audio a physical shape. Pushing the faders upward, increasing the feedback loop, cooking up a magnificent sonic alphabet soup. Analog equipment glowing with the vintage warmth, creating a terrifying, beautiful acoustic storm. Milliseconds stretch out into an eternity, unlocking the secrets of audio geometry. We are mixing the delay, jam bending the clock, a synchronized, rhythmic, oscillating shock echoes colliding against the padded studio wall. Mesmerizing, repetitive, hypnotic chord delay jam, filtering the high and low EQ, a technological masterpiece created just for you.
Splicing the magnetic ribbon with the razor blade, preserving the glorious masterpiece that we have made. Adding a phaser effect to the rhythm guitar, making it sound like it originated from a star. The compressor squashes down the heavy kick drum, while the parametric equalizer creates a gentle hum. A scientist of sound experimenting with the gear, crafting the frequency perfectly for the human ear.
My chorus overlaps itself in a cascading wave, a musical phenomenon that I completely crave. Breathing into the microphone, creating a stormy gust, shaking off the decades of accumulated dust. The panning switch my vocals from the left to the right, a dizzying stereo, spectacular acoustic flight. I am an instrument played by the master technician, completing the ultimate auditory expedition. Analog equipment glowing with the vintage warmth, creating a terrifying, beautiful acoustic storm. Milliseconds stretch out into an eternity, unlocking the secrets of audio geometry. We are mixing the delay, jam bending the clock, a synchronized, rhythmic, oscillating shock echoes colliding against the padded studio wall. Mesmerizing, repetitive, hypnotic chord delay jam, filtering the high and low EQ, a technological masterpiece created just for you. Turn up the reverb, make it sound like a cave, riding the crest of a magnificent sound wave. The master channel